From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Cascade Paint and Supply is Reading's oldest family-owned paint store, established in 1953. We are the largest Dunn Edwards dealer in the nation, and most of our products are made in the U.S. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff are ready to answer your questions and help you today.
Well, it turned out to be another gorgeous day out there yesterday, but things are changing. Today's the transition day. Not only are temperatures starting to drop, still not terribly cold, but temperatures starting to drop. We'll talk about the chance for showers, even some thunderstorms in the forecast for some of us, not everyone. We'll get into that here in just a bit, but significantly cooler by Thursday and even into your Friday, with snow levels now dropping to as low as 2,000 feet. And I'm seeing indications maybe as low as 1,500 feet in some cases as well. Should be interesting, but mainly dry and warmer as we go into early next week. Here's your neighborhood forecast at a quick glance here for today. There's the chance for showers. Now, I think the best chance for thunderstorms will be in the valley, especially Red Bluff northward, Siskiyou County, Modoc County. Now, we could eventually see some rain and maybe even some thunderstorms through the eastern mountains late afternoon, early evening. Now, for the coast and Trinity County, inland areas, for example, as well, you're going to be looking at a weak cold front passing through, and that could bring you a chance for a stray shower, but doesn't look to be all that heavy. So really, for the most part, not very wet for Trinity County and the North Coast, at least for today. That'll probably change here for tomorrow. Here's the cold front that's approaching, colder air behind it. This is all that colder air. That is what's going to be moving in. Now, looking at the Storm Prediction Center's severe outlook, I think it's got a pretty good representation. Siskiyou, Modoc, eventually this evening and tonight for Lassen County and parts of Plumas County as well. I think around Red Bluff, maybe Corning, northward, a chance for thunderstorms there. But elsewhere, not much in the way of rain in general for today. Now, this is where I disagree with the Storm Prediction Center. Yes, I think we can see some thunderstorms in the areas in green here, but we could also see thunderstorms here. And I think the reason why the Storm Prediction Center doesn't have it this far north is because a lot of the energy is going to be coming in from the south, working its way northward. And there's the potential that by the time it makes its way northward, it won't be in the form of a thunderstorm. But bottom line is, I still think showers and thunderstorms are a possibility even for the north end of the valley as well. All right, so let's take a look at Futurecast and show you that and walk you through it all. All right, so here's this morning. We take you into the afternoon hours. See this little line right here? That's a very weak cold front. It's a tail end of it, but it is strong enough to produce a few showers here by midday. Snow levels still very high, around 6,000 feet and higher, but you can see just how insignificant. Again, we're going to see a stray shower through the morning hours for all of the North Coast and eventually even into Trinity County. Then by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you see how we're starting to see those showers and maybe even thunderstorms popping up for the north end of the valley and then working its way northward. Even some activity by around the afternoon for parts of Modoc County as well. Now we're going to take you to about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Now we're seeing it around Red Bluff. So again, yeah, as you get into Corning, certainly that possibility as well. But as you start heading south, those chances get slimmer and slimmer. So I think that we could get through the day without any rain or thunderstorms for Chico, Willows, or Oroville, at least for today. But again, notice here off to the east, Lassen, Plumas County, still dry. And of course, not very much activity behind this as well. So it's mainly along the boundary here, this cold front, where we're going to see the bulk of the activity here. Now we've taken it at 6 p.m. You see how it's beginning to kind of push eastward and now even getting behind it in the valley, meaning Reading and Red Bluff, are seeing those chances diminish. But some pretty heavy rainfall, maybe some thunderstorms around eastern Shasta County, Modoc County, and now we're beginning to see some of that come into parts of places like Susanville, Placer County, and not to mention into Lassen County as well. And that continues into tonight, but then it dries out behind it. Now, right on the heels of this storm system is this back here. This is another area of low pressure diving down to the south. And you see the rotation around it, which will be pushing in that cold and unstable air in place. So 10 o'clock tonight, I've got snow levels dropping a bit because now the colder air is in place. It's 3,500 to 4,500 feet for Modoc County southward into Lassen and Plumas counties. But again, we're drying things out for tonight in the valley and really even most of the coast, right? But again, cold and unstable air right here. This is all going to be swinging into Northern California as we go into tomorrow morning. Now I've got snow levels 1,500 to 2,500 feet. Hayfork, Weaverville, you could be looking at some snow at this point as we go into tomorrow morning. This is the cold and unstable air. Now, notice off to the north, to the east, it is dry. Again, that main storm system for today is out of here at this point. But then as we go into the noon hour, there's about 11, 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, you see how that activity is now coming in from the south. So showers and thunderstorms are a possibility in the valley. We've got snow 1,500 to 2,500 feet in the mountains. So we could see some minor accumulation with this. All right, and then we go into Thursday afternoon. We're still seeing that area of low pressure spinning as it kind of dives down to the south. Chance for showers and, as I mentioned, maybe some thunderstorms for the valley, not to mention the south. But look at to the north. We're kind of on the north end of that flow, and things are starting to kind of dry out because all of this, for the most part, is going to be pushing southward by the time we go into Thursday night. But even Thursday night, still seeing that chance for showers and thunderstorms for parts of the valley and more snow in the mountains. And then as we go into Friday, we're looking at more of a flow coming in from the northwest. That should dry many areas out, but there still is some cold and unstable air in place. So through the day on Friday, the coast and really everyone seeing that chance for showers off and on, but really more dry than not as we go into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Your forecast snow totals, you'll notice, is not very significant. We could see some light accumulation for places like Weaverville and Hayfork, but most likely it'll be a short period of time where you're seeing all snow. Otherwise, it will be in the form of a rain-snow mix. Meanwhile, we're seeing the bulk of any snow accumulation in the southern Cascades and northern Sierra. So yeah, places like Shingletown and Chester, you might see some light accumulation there as well, not to mention out near Bernie and Fall River Mills. So light accumulation pretty much everywhere above 2,000 feet is a possibility, above really especially 3,000 feet. But again, you're gonna have to go up pretty high. And number two, the fact is this is a fairly moisture-starved system, so we're not gonna see a ton of rain or a ton of snow on top of that. However, that being said, if you get caught under a thunderstorm, it'll feel like a ton of rain. So but for a short period of time. So overall, just not a lot of moisture to work with. Now we look at the storm impacts for the next 3 days, just kind of overall broad impacts, and we're looking at limited to minor impacts. So it's going to be mainly as the sun sets and we go into the nighttime hours and in the early morning hours that I think we're going to see the biggest impacts as far as chain requirements are concerned, because that's when it's colder. I mean, going into that time of the year, even though it's getting colder during the day, we've got a higher angle of the sun, and it's going to be harder for that snow to accumulate during the day. So I think, you've got to check those road conditions here today, tomorrow, and really even through the weekend. But overall, not major impacts heading our way as far as snow and chain requirements are concerned. A little gusty as that cold front passes through, but it's not going to, I think, create any damage. It'll just be, gusts upwards of 20, close to 30 miles per hour. And then Thursday, it looks like a little breezy, borderline windy for some spots here as we go into your Thursday, and not to mention even into your Friday. So still a little gusty at times, but I think the strongest winds will be at that cold front passage here for this morning. All right. Let's get you through the day today for Trinity County. There you can see temperatures mid to upper 50s today. So yes, temperatures are starting to drop, but we're not going to see a major drop today. It's tomorrow that you'll notice it. Slight chance for showers for the coast, otherwise better chances going into tomorrow with maybe a chance for a few thunderstorms as well. Off and on chances for showers Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 54 for Smith River, 52 for Gas Key, 53 degrees in Trinidad and Hoopa. We take you out to Siskiyou County, where we got 53 degrees for Fort Jones, 54 in Wairika, and 53 in Weed. Now we take you out to Modoc County, a chance for showers, maybe some thunderstorms today, maybe even tomorrow, but now that the colder air is in place on Thursday, we could be looking at some more snow by Thursday and maybe even into your Friday as well. For the eastern mountains, I've got you mainly dry today. But later this late afternoon, early evening, maybe a chance for thunderstorms developing. However, places like Bernie, Viola, Mineral, Shingletown, Paradise, I think, mid to late afternoon, you may see some showers, thunderstorms. And by the way, Paradise, you might be too far south for those thunderstorms today, so it'll be mainly north of that, where you can see better chance for thunderstorms later this afternoon, kind of in the foothills of the eastern mountains. Your valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by NorCal Tractor. There you can, of course, see, looking at those temperatures, still, not bad. It's just not close to 80 degrees, right? We're talking temperatures more like the 60s and even some low 70s in there as well. So 68 for Redding, again, not bad, just not that 80 plus degree temperatures we've seen the last few days. 62 degrees for Whiskeytown, 68 for Cottonwood. There's that chance for showers and thunderstorms. In fact, we take a look at that 7-day outlook for Redding. Thunderstorms are a possibility today and tomorrow. Now, I've got that chance in there for Friday and Saturday, not to mention Sunday, but I tell you what, it'll be more dry than it will be wet for these 3 days, so it shouldn't be that bad. It's just that cooler air will be in place. It's not until next week that we'll start to see those temperatures begin to increase and should be back into the 70s. Hopefully that gets you out the door this morning. Have yourselves a great day. Be sure to keep checking in for the noon update and not to mention the evening update for the latest forecast here at Weather NorCal. And by the way, don't forget to download your free Weather NorCal app so you can track those storms should they develop here. You can not only track those storms, you can also check my latest update as well. All right, let's take a look at your deeper dive forecast as you do have the area of low pressure right here. The speckled clouds indicating the colder air that's associated with this. So here's the main cold front. This is when the winds pick up. This is when we see the potential for thunderstorms popping up along that boundary here, although it's fairly weak and really won't do much for the coast or Trinity County. But as you start heading into Siskiyou County, in the north end of the valley in particular, and in from Modoc County and eventually the eastern mountains, we could see some thunderstorms popping up along this. Snow levels are still going to be high once this moves through, but behind it, once that colder air moves in, we've got that significant drop in temperatures and snow levels as well. So there's the area of low pressure, the colder air. That cold front is now off to our east, but this low pressure as it dives to the south will continue to generate the chances for showers and thunderstorms for tomorrow. Now, as that moves out, we're more of a what we call a northwesterly flow of winds. There's a little bit of a disturbance kind of rotating around that could bring a chance for a few showers and maybe even a few thunderstorms on Friday. But then as we go into the weekend, we're just looking at a couple of weak disturbances really trying to pass through, but really won't do much. Maybe a better chance coming in on Sunday, but then as we go into next week, this ridge of high pressure begins to build in, and not only does it dry out, but we begin to warm things up for the beginning of next week as well, and not to mention going into the middle of next week. There's a little bit of activity out to our west as we go through parts of next week, but it looks like a lot of that should stay to our north. So looking at the precipitation outlook, not looking very promising for a lot of rain out there in the long range here, so it looks like we have better chances of seeing below normal precipitation. And in fact, we look at the latest rainfall outlook, keep in mind chances for showers will end after Sunday. So this does go through Tuesday, but we don't expect any rain Monday or Tuesday. So basically from now through the weekend, I think we could see anywhere from a tenth to maybe a quarter of an inch of rainfall in parts of the valley. Now, don't take these numbers to be exact for each location. We could be looking at a brief thunderstorm for parts of Redding, which would bring you to more than a tenth of an inch of rainfall, right? Maybe you don't see a thunderstorm in Red Bluff, which means you see less than a quarter of an inch of rainfall. You get the idea. If you get caught under a brief heavy shower or thunderstorm, you could be looking at more than a tenth. But if you don't see any of those thunderstorms, then you'll be looking at probably around a tenth, all right? So just kind of give you a backstory of that. Same situation for the coast as well, but you can see a little bit higher intensity as far as the amount of precipitation we do see to the north and east of the valley. All right, so let's take a look at that overall trend. So there's the colder air right here. You see, it's not today, but it's tomorrow and Friday that'll be overhead. That's when we go from around 70 in the valley today to the mid 50s, even some low 50s. So quite a drop in our temperatures from what we've seen here for the last few days. That colder air will move out. Now there's going to be another pocket of cooler air, not as cold as Thursday and Friday's system, but it will keep our temperatures down going into the weekend. That will eventually move out. And as I mentioned, that ridge of high pressure building in, that's the warmer air that'll be moving in here by Monday and Tuesday of next week. Now, looking at the temperature outlook, eventually once that colder air moves out, we're talking about better chances of seeing above normal temperatures. Here are your wave heights. You can see they are pretty high as you're heading out to sea. In fact, that's why there's a small craft advisory, and that'll eventually probably be upgraded to a hazardous seas warning due to the fact that we are going, a gale warning due to the fact that we're going to be looking at even higher wave heights going into your Thursday. So again, your marine forecast, there's that small craft advisory through this afternoon, but then going into this evening and tomorrow, it will be upgraded most likely to a gale warning. All right, so for today, not that close to 80-degree temperature we've seen the last few days. So we're seeing about a 10-degree drop for today, and then another 10 to even 15-degree drop on top of that by tomorrow. So you can see upper 60s to even low 70s for some of the warmer spots in the valley, but it is cooling off in the mountains, but still not that bad, even low 50s here along the coast. So let's take a look at your 7-day outlook. We'll start off with the valley. Showers and thunderstorms are a possibility for, especially for Redding and Red Bluff today. Chico, most likely, you'll stay dry. You may see a brief shower, but I don't anticipate any thunderstorms. I think everyone in the valley has a chance for thunderstorms tomorrow, and then off and on chances for showers Friday through Sunday. Again, as I mentioned, for these 3 days here, more dry than it will be wet. So don't cancel any outdoor plans because of that chance for showers. I think the best chance would be on Sunday, but even that, it doesn't look to be much, and then it warms up and dries out by Monday, Tuesday. Now for the coast, not much going on here, even for the inland areas and for Trinity County. I've got a chance as the main cold front passes through, maybe a brief sprinkle or light shower, especially for the first half of the day, but better chances for showers and thunderstorms going into your Thursday. Also, we're looking at snow levels dropping from 6,000 plus feet today to around 2,000 feet, give or take, by Thursday. Looking at for Siskiyou County, Modoc County, and for the Eastern Mountains. Chance for thunderstorms today through the afternoon. I think it's the late afternoon, early evening that Susanville will start to see some of that as well. However, the east, like the foothills and say the mountains east of the valley, say around Bernie, Shingletown, you could see some activity here by mid-afternoon hours. And then of course you can see snow levels fairly low, that is, for your Thursday. They start to slowly rise as we go through the weekend and drying out and warming up by next Monday and Tuesday.